Wholesale price-based inflation, the WPI, rose to a record 15.88% in May from a year ago, its highest in the current series. Launched a decade ago on rising prices of food items and crude oil, government data showed on Tuesday. May's wholesale price inflation figures was above the 15% mark in April and sharply higher than 13.11% in May last year. My colleague Priyanshi joins us for more on this. Priyanshi, what does this mean for us?
Well, Shadakshi, a higher wholesale price inflation means that it will translate into higher retail prices for you and me. Let's go across to the wholesale inflation figures that have been announced today. Wholesale inflation has today hit a record high in the month of May, and wholesale inflation is at 15.88%, which is up from 15.08% that was recorded in the month of April. Now, this is a record high ever since the base rate was changed in the year 2012. Now, wholesale inflation has been in double digits for the past few months, and this is the 14th month when wholesale price index has been in the double digits. Wholesale inflation has risen for the third straight month. We remember even earlier in the month of April, wholesale inflation was above 15%, and for the second straight month, it has been above 15%, and it has been going up since the month of March. So ever since the war started in the month of February in Ukraine, wholesale inflation has been going up. And one of the reasons behind all inflation that we're seeing these days is fuel and power prices. As we know, Brent crude prices have gone up to close to 120 per barrel. And since we import a lot of our fuel, that is taking up the prices of crude oil back at home. And in fact, if we can look at the crude oil petroleum inflation, that is at 78.67%. So this means that compared to the crude oil prices last year, the prices in May this year were higher by 78%. If we talk about the food index, because as per the ministry, the fuel and power and food inflation were the highest contributors to this overall inflation. Food index is up at 10.89%, up from 8.88% in April. So this means that food inflation, food prices are now 10% higher than they used to be in the month of May last year. If we talk about the other contributors, it's mineral oil that's also one of the major contributors to the overall inflation. These are the top three causes that are pointed to by the Ministry of Commerce in the inflation data released today. And this raises further questions whether the Reserve Bank will have to raise interest rates again, because higher wholesale prices mean that retail inflation will also go up, as retail prices will go up, as this will translate into higher prices that we have to pay for all our commodities, starting from food to fuel. So this could mean that after retail inflation slowed in the month of May, it could in fact go up again because of higher wholesale prices.